right. We didn't even announce in the beginning of the call what we were going to talk about today. So I
That was
am
my fault.
very
That was my fault.
excited.
I was
What'd you say?
That's my fault. I was the one.
Okay. Oh, it's all good. It's all good. Keep people on the edge of their seats, just waiting. Guys, if you have been here for any period of time, you know and love and have heard of Kristen Mothershead. She's been here for a couple years now, and she just has found her groove lately in production. And she's got a lot of questions from a lot of you guys on just what her process is and what types of leads she's using and how she's closing so many apps and just literally what that process looks like. So we thought, what better opportunity than to have her come on and share with you guys on Huddle today, just what that's looked like. Guys, she came here, had a baby, similar to my story, had a baby, and when you kind of start over after a few years and you throw a baby into the mix, especially during a pandemic, like it's just hard. And figuring out how to build a business at the same time is so challenging. But Kristen has just taken it on and done incredible things here. She's 110% contract level, which officially, we'll be announcing that on Wednesday, but congratulations, Kristen. Guys, on her own pen, just for August so far, she's at just shy of 9,000 with 11 apps. Her team for August is over 72,000 in premium. She's an agency director here. For the year on her own pen, she's just shy of 67,000. A lot of that has just been written in the last couple of months since she found her stride. And her team so far year to date, 609,434 in premium. I have no doubt they're going to hit that $1 million mark this year. And I'm just excited for you to kind of just hear from Kristen directly on what she's doing. So, hi, friend.
Hi.
Good morning. DJ KMO herself.
What Jamie failed to mention is I was getting so many questions. I was like, I need to be on Huddle, so I'm taking a spot because it was the same questions. Thanks for that super kind introduction.
Welcome. I'll request you after.
I pulled a major Jim Larson today and made slides, so I'm very proud of myself, and so I'm going to share those. But I just want to start off by saying, like, Jamie has said, I have recently found my groove, and I'm not sharing any of this. Most of you know my heart, but I'm not the end all be all. I'm not the best or the greatest. I do know that I have drastically improved over the last 6 months. I love that you shared numbers because I was looking this morning. Last year in my own pen completely, I wrote 39,000 for the entire year, and most of that was war market. And the last 4 months, I've done 50,000, and all of that is mostly on leads. So a huge change for me. So I want to share a little bit about the process that I've kind of stepped into, what's helped me, because if I can share something that's going to help one of you, then that will just, be worth my time. So let me share. This is always the fun part, right?
It's always so scary to do a scrim. Like, are my texts pulled up? Like, what?
Portion of the screen. Oh, here we go.
Sarah Reineke's the worst. Maybe she's gotten better at it, but she used to share her screen. I'm like, Sarah, what is happening on your background? It's a mess.
Does this work? Did it work?
Is this thing on?
I'm so excited. Okay, is this thing on? So we're going to go through sales, posture, and process. And if you don't know what posture and sales is, or maybe what your process should look like, you're in good hands today. But I wanted to start with a completely squirrel moment, because as I was making this, my husband and I came across these, and I was like, I just have to start. They have no really relation to what we're talking about today, but they are fun. So here's number one. I'm pulling a Roddy Jessup. I'm starting with funny. This is so funny. Could you say these are pretty serious?
This is so Johnny. I feel like Johnny could say these.
We were laughing so hard last night. The prospect said she was interested, called back 16 times with no answer. This one's great. And then this is our favorite. Okay. So hope you all enjoyed those. Now let's get serious. Thank you for coming. All right. So the first part of kind of my process that I started to hear in different trainings, because I'll be honest, I did not submerge myself in any type of, there are thousands of trainings that you can get yourself involved in, when it comes to sales and learning how to do what we do well. And I pretty much avoided all of those because for a year I thought that I just sucked at this part of the process. And what I realized is that everyone else was doing it or figuring out, so I needed to do the same. And part of that was my sales posture. Sales posture is your attitude, what you bring to the table. It's kind of like what I would, call your swag if you are, on an athletic team or on the field or, out with your friends. It's your sales swag, your sales posture. It's the attitude that you bring to the table. It's how you make people feel. It's your ability to engage in a conversation and relate to the customer, relate to the lead. It's your ability to kind of really drill down on what's important to them, what their priorities are, what their values are. And so figuring out your sales posture is very important as we dive into like the next sales process and learning your script, learning your dialogue. Sales posture is beneficial because, ultimately what I found is that owning your sales posture and stepping into your sales posture allows you to, one, be more effective when working for the client. You are very clear. You're able to present yourself as a professional, but also provide, empathy or, build trust, build rapport. So knowing your sales posture allows you to do those things. We are in virtual sales, which means that we're doing a lot of it over the phone. That presents problems when you're trying to present your sales posture because people can't read our body language. We have to do everything with our voice, our inflections, how we make people feel through the phone. So a lot of times sales posture is much harder to do when you're working virtually. So you have to really kind of hone in on what those communication skills are that are, either allowing you to be more effective with a client or not, and really kind of drilling down where am I lacking in my communication skills that is affecting my posture. And for me, I'm really good with words, but my voice inflections and all of those things were things that I worked on. So finding your posture is really important. And for me, I found my posture, and we'll kind of talk about that more as we go. Oh, that was the wrong button. Okay, so in sales, we have processes, and it's really important that you not only find your posture, but you also kind of figure out your process. And what you'll find if you're new, especially here, is that there are a lot of different processes that you can follow. And really the important thing is that you find something that resonates with you and that feels authentic. But one part of the sales process that is, mostly non-negotiable here, unless you're coming in and you're wanting to work all warm market with leads, if that's you, great. But a lot of us come here because we have a quality lead system. And that is a huge win for me in my book, except when you can't win with leads, then you struggle and you try to figure it out. So leads are a very important part of the process because we, have a constant flow of clients that are available to us to bring us income. So when it comes to leads and part of the process, you want to make sure that you're focusing on your investment and what you're committing to. And I'll talk a little bit about this in just a few minutes, about how that changed for me. But having your investment, because ultimately what you're investing into your leads is going to be the opportunities that you give yourself to win and to create income for you and your family. And then when you're looking at leads is figuring out along the way, and you can, ask your mentor for help while you're doing this, but figuring out what lead type is where you win. I've had a lot of conversations lately. People will ask me, why am I using these leads, or why I decided to use, the leads that I'm working. And what I find is that a lot of agents are dabbling in all the lead types that we have available, because we do have several types available. So, I'll talk to an agent who's doing a couple of digital leads, mortgage protection, life, and then opt leads for analog, and they have themselves just spread all over the place. And so what I really encourage people to do is find a lead type and stick to it long enough to figure out where you're good and where you're not. Track your numbers, track, the types of leads they are, maybe where you're feeling uncomfortable in the conversation or in the process, because then you can hone in on where you do really well instead of trying all the different shiny pennies and trying to win at all of these different types of leads and all these types of locations and digital or paper, give yourself a lane to stay in and stay there long enough to find out if you can win or not. Because if you don't, then you're just going to find yourself like I did last year, hopping from lead to lead, thinking that it was a lead issue, but really it was a me issue. So a lead is a lead. I don't care what you're using, but find something, stay there long enough, a month minimum, and figure out if it's something that you can win with. I love Razor Ridge search leads, and I've told many of you, but there are people that love call-in leads and bonus leads. So find your lead type and maybe what works for you. And again, tracking and management. I figured that out for myself by tracking my numbers. I hate data. I hate spreadsheets. I know Andrew Watts is on here, but I hate spreadsheets. My husband loves them, but I took the initiative to, if I was going to get better at this, I needed to know where I was thriving and where I was not. And that is how I landed on, knowing that Razor Ridge search leads was where I was winning the most often and most consistently. But if I wasn't tracking any of that, as far as, what lead types they were, even closing, all of those things, I took the initiative to do that so that I could figure out where I was winning and stay in that lane. So first part of the process that you can skip are leads and figure out what works for you. I keep clicking the wrong. Okay. So this is kind of the bigger piece that really kind of plays into your sales posture and is the sales process. And again, there are lots of different processes that you can follow. People will, you could get overtrained. You could train yourself to death on sales scripts, processes, all of that. But what is most important is, again, you find something that works for you and what feels most authentic to you. When you find your sales posture, it's going to, complement your sales process. So my posture complements the dialogue, the conversation approach that I bring to the table when I'm talking to clients. Your script, I've had a lot of conversations lately where people are sharing their script with me or their flow or their outline and talking about, the conversation they have with their clients. And a lot of times I'm finding myself overwhelmed or confused about what the purpose or what the person can bring to the table. Our job is to make it clear that we're the professionals and that we know what's best for our clients. So your script, the dialogue, the process that you're following should, be authentic to you, but it should also provide clarity. It should not confuse or overwhelm your client. It should not leave them questioning, like, what in the heck should I do? Do I even need mortgage protection? Or how is that even beneficial to me? Your process that you follow in the conversation should leave no questions about what those best decisions are or the best options for that client are. And it's your job to, even if you don't feel like it, to own that you are the professional and that you know what is best for them. So the biggest piece that's changed for me, and this is what I've gotten a lot of questions about. And first, it's like I said, I found my posture. For the longest time, I read scripts and I heard audio recordings. I listened to live dialers. I tried to pick up pieces that, worked for me, but I still felt like it was not authentic to who I was. When I really started to think about where I could improve or why I wasn't winning in the leads department, I found myself always coming back to the idea of that I never felt like I was bringing to the table or the conversation what I would want if I was on the other end of the phone. So I started to position myself as an agent. What would I want to hear? If I was on the other side of the phone, if I was a lead, a client, what would I want someone to say to me? How would I want someone to make me feel? As soon as I started to do that, I started to forget all the scripts and all the questions, that are in the scripts. And I just started to own my authentic self. This shows here, hold on the side, it shows something that I said to a client when he was kind of, just wanting me to throw out numbers to you. I just want you to give me a quote, like being super pushy. A year ago, I would have been like, here's your quote, bye, like, leave me alone. I now have the posture and confidence and presence to know that I'm the financial professional and I don't want to waste anyone's time. And so here's what I said this back to a customer in real life. I still shock myself sometimes, but like, I am the professional and I'm setting the tone of this conversation. I know that you are in need of something, but I also know it's best. And so finding that confident posture and being able to, say what I need to say to clients, but also in a way that makes them feel comfortable, then that kind of has been like a game changer for me. It's just owning my confidence and knowing that I do know what's best for them. And I don't have to work with every single person if I don't want to. So finding my posture has been huge. For the leads, I increased my investment. A lot of you come in here and, if you're new, you may be like, I don't have money to invest. That's why I came here in the first place. We were in the same spot. I mean, we didn't have a lot of money. There were times where we were pushing car payments or, deciding, okay, what can we pay this week and what can we pay next week? I get it. I get not having money to invest in leads, but I also got to a point where I knew that I either needed to kind of go big or go home. My ability to win on the amount of money that others may spend to win was not there. So I needed to increase my opportunity, increase my chances to win because my skill wasn't to a point where I could spend, $200 or $300 on leads. So I kept amping up my investment. We started at $600 a week and I was winning. So then we moved to $700 and then $800. And now I do, almost $1,000 a week on leads, but because I know that I consistently can win and I'm confident in that return coming back to me. And I found Razor Ridge search leads. Again, so many of you ask me, why Razor Ridge search leads? How many should I buy? Where, when should I get them? Where should I buy them? A lead is a lead. Just because I win at Razor Ridge search leads doesn't mean that, you are too. I stayed somewhere long enough where I could figure out if this was the lane that I was going to win in. And I was consistently doing it. So I am not going to go dabble in all the other shiny pennies that look really pretty to see if I can win there too, when I know that I'm winning here. So it's not that Razor Ridge search leads are the end all be all. You could find any lead and win. You just have to find what works well for you. And you can't figure that out if you're dabbling in 6 or 7 different lead types every other week and you have no idea where you're winning because you're not being consistent in your lead lane. And then for my script, I took a conversational approach, which again plays to my posture. It felt authentic to me. It felt like what I would want clients to bring to the table, or what I would want an agent to say to me if I was a client. And having a conversation allowed me to build rapport and build trust. I focused more on their needs and what their problem was instead of calling and picking up the phone and be like, this could be a major sale, like calculating how much I'm about to make on this if I can close it. Instead of doing that, I'm more concerned with how can I actually help these people? Because truth is, we are helping people. And when I made that shift, then you start to, again, build that trust and that rapport, and clients trust you to do what's best for them. And they don't feel like you're just trying to make a sale. And then there were 2 big things that I learned in a CE class that have kind of been like game changers. And I know that I've shared with you, with a couple of you, what they are. But the first one is, it was called the no sales policy. And so this kind of removes the barriers that, clients may have. And you can use these for any lead types. I've had multiple agents use this idea for, mortgage protection, and not just digital life leads or digital mortgage protection. But the no sales policy basically is an idea concept that was created a long time ago by a guy in a financial industry. And he kind of changed how he was doing things. And it basically just gives the client the idea that on this phone call, we're not making any decisions. I'm not here to sell you something. I want to present to you the options that I have found and answer your questions. And it takes down the wall of, oh my gosh, I'm going to get cornered into a sale today and I'm not ready to make that decision. I don't want someone making me feel that way. So why would I want to make someone feel that way too? And then again, that builds trust. If I'm upfront saying, hey, you don't need to worry about me cornering you into a sale. I have a no sales policy. This is not for making any decisions. I want to learn a little bit more about what your need is and then present to you, options, and then we can go from there. A lot of times for me, it's used at the beginning of the call for my initial calls to say, hey, if you have time to talk right now, it kind of works differently depending on what lead type you're working. But for me in the digital world, it's, if you have a couple of minutes to talk, then I would love to hop on the phone. I have a strict no sales policy. This is just for collecting your information, learning more about you, learning about your specific need, and then, going from there. You can use it at the end of the call when you're appointment setting. I've had people use it, if someone says, just email me the quotes or just text me the options, they can say, or I can say, hey, I would be happy to email you or text you options, but I want to get on the phone to go over these with you first so that I can answer your questions. I have a no sales policy on the first call. This is strictly just to hand you the options that I've found. When is a good time for you? And almost all the time it's been, okay, great. So it takes down that barrier, removes the awkwardness of them feeling like they're going to get cornered into something crazy. And then the other big change that I've made is kind of the discovery call concept. And this is really flipping the script on what I was trained on here with Symmetry. And it's not to say that that's wrong or that idea is wrong, but doing this again has helped me. So instead of, I need 3 to 5 minutes just to collect your information and then we'll set an appointment, it is, I'm going to take the front end of the call and make it the meatier call and make it the one where I'm spending more time. I'm building the trust. I'm filling out the client history form. I'm learning about what needs you have. Why did you want your mortgage covered? Or why are you looking for life insurance coverage? Making that the meatier call so that my appointment is really just going over options. I've already built rapport and built trust, and I already know their specific need. I know their beneficiary's name. I have all of that information. So my appointments go a lot faster. I've even closed them completely via email or text because my first call on the phone was so meaty and so, it really built that trust and rapport that my appointment really didn't matter. If I brought the right options to the table, that was it. So I have gotten a ton of feedback on both of these processes since I've started using with clients saying, thank you for giving us space to make a decision, or thanks for not being pushy or pushing us into a sale. Thanks, just here's referrals. I want you to meet my grandpa or whatever, like all these things that I never ever got before. And I truly believe that it's because I make people feel comfortable and I give them the space to make a decision that's best for them. And following that, and I hope this doesn't bite me in the butt, but I don't have chargebacks. Like my sales are sticky. But I truly believe that it's because I give them the space to make that decision. If I was making a decision, I'd want someone to email me the numbers too, and just so I can think about it and make sure that's right for my budget. So I really meet the clients where they are and really utilize these two things to kind of to do that. And I have put together, you guys know me, a little Google Drive folder with all of these things in there so that you can go read it. It's got every single detail of how I use these policies and how I use the scripts and the things to my advantage. I mean, I even had, Todd from Razor Ridge, if you're not new, but he reached out to me asking me to share this with him so that he could include it in their new training. So it's changed everything for me in production. And if it can change one of your production stories, then I'm happy to share everything that that works. But I also reached out to a couple of agents in our agency because I am not the end all be all here. And just asked like, hey, can you share what's worked for you? Like, what have you changed? What language? Like, so we're looking for specifics. And every single one of them came back to me with the same ending. I wish I could share their audio messages because they were incredible. All of them in different ways, but they all across the board, they each gave little things that worked for them, but across the board, it came down to belief in the system, belief that they could win, that they were worthy to win, and belief that it would work out for them eventually. I just have to show up and put in the work, and I have to be intentional, and I have to be consistent. Kelly Bush, she, belief in the system. Every time she saw a leaderboard, that was proof that what we do works. And if she wasn't on the leaderboard or she wasn't winning, then there was something that she needed to figure out to do better. Curiosity. Jim Larson loves being curious. We are always curious about why my clients, on this med, why my clients looking for this specific option. Being curious allowed her to get better. Rebecca Robinson, her story was incredible. Her audio message had me in tears. But just, again, her belief in herself and belief that she was worthy to win here. Ultimately giving her the posture to show up at the table like confidently and knowing that she could help people and that she knew what she was doing. And the last thing that she said was that there was no secret sauce. It's just me taking that belief and all of the skills I've learned the way and putting them together and showing up authentically. And then Patrick, I know we've all seen him winning a lot lately. And for him, it was the same belief that it's going to work out. I have to be intentional about showing up, being consistent, being engaged. He's also using a conversational approach, which I think is going to be just the thing in sales now. And just really meeting people where they are and engaging with, what can I help them with, or how can I help them? So the best part of all of this is that there's lots of ways to win, and my way is not the end way, and Patrick's way or Kelly's way. There are lots of ways to win. What's important is that you find the way that you can win and stay there and not get lost in the shiny pennies that are everywhere. It's the beauty of what we do. We have lots of options, but it can also be a distraction. So know yourself to lead yourself and figure out where you win and stay there. And then, of course, we're going to end. This is how I want you to feel every time a lead drops into your computer, because it's now how I feel, knowing that I know how to win. I'm able, instead of being like, oh my God, a lead just dropped. Do I have to really pick up the phone? But now I'm like, I cannot wait to call this lead because I have a lever to my income. It ebbs and flows. That's business. But I know that I can do well, and I know that I can succeed, and I'm confident in that. And so this is how I want you to feel. So find your stride, find your lane, and stay there.
That lady definitely wants 30-year term.
Look at her. She is so
$18.
excited. She wants $1 million.
On a 30-year term.
And it's
$30 a month is her budget.
Kristen, I want to expand a little bit on a couple of the things that you said. I know for so many people at the beginning, they don't feel like the professional, right? Okay, I got a license, but I don't feel like I know what I'm doing. So how do I take the posture that I'm the professional here? And I think that's a really, really hard thing when you're started. I want to tell people and encourage people that you have a license. That makes you the professional. Whether you've sold a policy or not, that makes you a professional. So lean on that. The other part that you were talking about, jumping from leads to leads to leads, the people that to me ties to the belief. It ties to the belief. If you're jumping from lead to lead to lead, you don't really have a belief in the system. You're searching for belief. And I think what most people find that end up having success here is it's not the lead that's the silver bullet. They're all looking for the silver bullet, and what lead that is. You are the silver bullet. You are the thing that makes the difference, and learning how to posture yourself, which then the posture, so many people I get talked to are like, how do I change my posture? How do I do that? I don't know how to change the posture because I don't believe it in my body and in my heart. I don't believe it. I think taking that no sales policy changes your posture without you actually having to, because it takes the pressure off of you. I know for me, when we first started digital leads, and I heard all these people saying, you have to speed the lead, you have to one call close digital, you have to one call close. Like I heard that over and over. It straight debilitated me with digital, because I felt like, oh my God, I can't let this person off the phone. I can't let them stop texting me. And it made me afraid of digital leads, legitimately. And I think taking that posture of no sales on this call changes the whole way you talk to somebody, and which then creates that whole posture. I think this is incredible.
Yeah, it does. And it did for me. It just utilizing that gave me the window to even just get on the phone with someone. And you can use it, in mortgage protection too.
Mm-hmm.
But not so much maybe on the first call, but it gave me the window, the opportunity to even have a conversation on the phone. And then I built my confidence from there. And it's the same with the discovery call idea, with a mortgage protection lead is asking for more time. Hey, I just want to learn a little bit more about why you made this request in the first place. I don't know if I can help you, but sitting there a little bit longer versus quickly collecting all the information and then not really having any rapport or trust built to go into an appointment. So either one of those can be used in any department, but as you use them, you'll start winning more, you'll find what's working for you, and then you will build that confidence. And it quickly step into your own posture. It hasn't been long since I started utilizing these concepts, and I feel very confident in what I'm bringing to a conversation. So
good.
I love, Kristen, too, that you just owned this. You owned the process of figuring this out. There weren't resources that you could readily access, so you created them. Like, you took extreme ownership for your part of this business and in this journey, and nobody pushed you into it. Like, this was something that you needed to figure out, and it's just awesome. It's awesome to have ownership over it. You didn't blame the system. You didn't blame anybody else. You didn't blame the leads. You just went and did it. And I love it. So thank you for that. Couple people asked, for the resource link. I saw somebody
It just got shared.
Perfect.
Just got shared in the chat.
Okay.
Thank you for that. Guys, any questions?
Miriam shared it. Thank you.
Any questions for Kristen before we do some rapid fire?
I have a question. Can I ask? I hope this is okay to ask here, but Kristen, in regards to this is a big thing, and this is something I'm still working on, but we always hear ask questions, be curious, ask questions. For me, in the beginning, it was really like, okay, well, what questions am I asking? What answers am I searching for? Right? What resource or what helped you in regards to asking those questions to kind of dig deeper, especially on that first call?
Yeah. So for me, when I'm asking questions, it's not even really like a professional thing. It's more of like a human to human. I'm sitting in a conversation with someone. I think if I had to land on one call that opened my mind to that, what is called building the need, and really just kind of, and it's the same with, I know people will struggle with older people who have big mortgages to cover, like just identifying what that need is in the beginning and kind of figuring out what is their true need and just asking questions. So what does it look like tomorrow if something happens? Are you guys wanting to keep the house? Like, that's what it sounds like, or like just keep walking it out, just having a conversation with someone. It's not necessarily the right or wrong professional questions to ask. It's more so of like, what do you want life to look like on the other side of something happening?
So good.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Oh, I actually have two. So, Kristen, I like your approach, the no sales on the first call. I really do think that will help build that authenticity. So my question to you is, as you go through, I imagine, do you gauge, or how do you edit your script as you go through, or your conversation, I guess I should say, if it is going to perhaps move forward with an application at that time? And then secondly, if you're giving them space or you really feel like they need it, how successful are you, and what is your process basically getting them back on the phone. That's where I've struggled. I've got a stack here where now, they've ghosted you. You can't get back. I'm trying not to be pushy, but not getting any feedback at all from them. So that's where I need help.
Yeah, those are great questions. The first is I don't focus too much on like the exact script. I just feel out, where does this fit best? The no policy, no call, initial sales, no policy thing. So there's really not an exact place I use it, but it's typically either in the beginning of our conversation just to get them on the phone, or during an appointment if they're hesitating to like get on the phone with me to go over options. So I use it there. And then as far as giving them space, if I can get someone on the phone for the initial phone call and really build that discovery call to build that trust, I usually don't have a problem giving them space or, emailing them options and making a sale. So if you haven't gotten on the phone with them at all, then just keep following up and like you would with any other lead to kind of get the closure resolution one way or the other.
Love it. Thank you.
Hey, Jim, you want to rapid fire?
Yeah, we're gonna rapid fire. And Kristen, I need you to change your energy around when I say rapid fire because I didn't love the way you reacted back there. It's only a couple. They're not hard. I'm not trying to stump you. Ready?
Mm.
Take a sip of your water. Dream job as a child.
Britney Spears. Or a teacher. It was one or the other.
Yeah.
Singer or teacher.
Man, I had to unfollow her on the gram, then I went back to follow her just for entertainment.
Britney
Okay.
free Instagram.
Free knives. It's fine. If you had to wear a costume every day for a month, what would you choose? What would you choose? One costume. Can't be
First thing
Britney.
that came to my mind was a maid costume. I don't know why I said that.
I think
Johnny's
Johnny's
got
into that.
excited.
Yeah, Britney Spears maid costume. Johnny's on Amazon. Do you have any special talents?
She's wiggling her nostrils.
Two more. Cats or dogs?
Wow. Oh, cats. Ew.
Gosh.
Do that. I hate a cat. They're just weird.
You
Love
hit
that.
the
I don't know.
cat?
I hate a cat, but I'm
I hate
allergic.
a cat. I would run over every cat. If I saw a cat in the road, I would not swerve. Go-to comfort food.
Oh gosh. I love sweets. Like
What? I thought I
gummies,
knew you.
ice cream, comfort nachos.
What is that nacho? That was what I thought you were going to say. Nacho.
That's a big cat. That's I don't know.
That's what I came up with. All right, Corey, any others or wrap us up? That was so good. This was such a great call.
Gummies.
Kristen, this was incredible. Like, we've had two now back to back, super applicable, very implementable calls. And
Yeah, sorry, that was very like teacherish, but I felt
no,
like
it was.
No.
Sometimes that has to be it, right? Sometimes we need a little teaching. Sometimes, like, and I think it was incredible. It has been so awesome to watch your journey here. And I talked today in our accountability group about how your journey is yours and you get to own that, whatever that looks like. And your journey will never stop if you don't stop. And the growth for you as a saleswoman, which I know is like that wasn't your dream job, has been incredible, but you're an incredible leader, incredible person. We are super fortunate to get to call you guys our friends. And thank you very much for your time today and putting in the effort to put a slideshow together and all that good stuff. Right? And it was very good. It was very good. Jim's jealous. I know. I mean, it didn't have any animation, but it was.
It didn't, but it did have memes.
It did.
So thank you guys. I appreciate it.
Roddy is jealous.
I sent it to him. I was like, look how I'm opening this slideshow. Don't tell Jamie.
He didn't tell me. I love it.
Thank you,
All right,
guys.
guys. Thank you, Kristen. Thank you. We'll talk in 5 minutes.
Bye, everybody.
Guys, have a great week 5 already. See you soon.